Hey Charger Engineer, in this video we're going to talk about Charger foundations. These are some of the general education requirements that are required for all students at UAH. In Module 1 we talked about Base Camp, where every engineering student gets started, and your journey from Base Camp to Summit will be based on your placement, which we talked about in Module 3, specifically your math and your English placement. So your fall and spring semesters for your first year will look something like this, with math and science courses. Fall semester, you might take EGR 101 and FYE 101E. You might also take college writing your fall semester, or you might have a general education or a Charger foundation requirement that we signify with HSBS or HFA. In the spring semester, you'll take math and science again, and then you'll have a selection of other courses to choose from based on your major and where you started with your placement. We're going to talk about those HFA and HSBS classes, the Charger Foundation courses, as a part of this video. So HFA stands for Humanities and Fine Arts, and HSBS stands for History, Social, or Behavioral Sciences. So, what are these requirements? Let's go through them. Students must complete 18 hours or 6 courses to satisfy the HFA and HSBS requirements. There are 3 classes or 9 hours that fall under the HFA heading, and 3 classes or 9 hours that fall under the HSBS heading. There are very specific requirements for these courses as specified by the university and our accrediting agency. So it's important to understand the requirements when you consider your options. I also encourage you to not discount these courses. You will learn a great deal about critical thinking and communication, both written and oral. You might try getting out of your comfort zone a bit as well and take something that you've never tried before. This table shows all the requirements for the HFA and HSBS courses. We know it's a lot to take in at once. Let's break it down. So here's that table of the Charger foundations, the HSBS and the HFA courses. You need 3 HSBS and 3 HFA courses. And I like to think about filling buckets. So we're going to have 1 HFA bucket and 1 HSBS bucket, and we're going to put 3 courses in each bucket. So we'll start with HSBS number 1, and that is a history requirement. Every student must take a history course from the approved list. So HSBS number 1 goes into the bucket. Then every student must take a non-history social science. So economics, political science, psychology, sociology, there are a variety of choices. So you'll take one of these. And then HSBS number 2 goes into the bucket. So now we have 2 HSBS courses. Now let's move on to HFA. So everyone must take a literature course. So HFA number 1 into the bucket. Everyone must take a fine arts course, and there's a list of them here: music, theater appreciation, art history, and others. So HFA number 2 goes into the bucket. So now we have 2 courses in the HFA bucket and 2 courses in the HSBS bucket. And we'll fill the third in each bucket by choosing. You can choose either history or literature for your sequence. So if we choose history for our sequence, we're going to take the other course in the pair. So you took one of these history courses for your HSBS number 1, and you'll just take the second course in the pair. You can't take History 103 and History 222. So if you choose history as your sequence, you'll take the second history course, HSBS number 3 will be in the bucket, and now you'll have 3 HSBS courses. Then, for your third HFA bucket, you will choose another course from this list. It can be a second fine art, it can be a second literature, or it can be one of these options: public speaking, philosophy, foreign language, international cinema, women's studies, etc. I personally recommend that you consider taking public speaking. It's a skill that engineers need. So you'll take one of these courses and you'll finish out the HFA bucket with 3 courses as well. You don't have to worry about this last part because you chose your sequence in history. So if you choose literature for your sequence, then you need to take 2 courses in a pair for your literature sequence. So whatever you took for your HFA number 1, that literature requirement, you will take the second course in the pair. And that's going to take care of HFA number 3. So that bucket is now full. Then you'll need to take a second history course or a second social behavioral science course to finish out your HSBS bucket. You won't worry about this requirement because you chose your sequence in literature. So now you've got 3 in your HFA bucket and 3 in your HSBS bucket. Students may earn credit towards the HFA or HSBS requirements through AP or dual enrollment credit. You are encouraged to check the AP IB guide on the Engineering Admitted Students website. You can check the description of this video for a direct link. You may also earn credit through college courses taken as part of a dual enrollment program. Please check with an engineering advisor to determine how your credit may be applied to your requirements. Honors College students should take honors sections of HFA and HSBS courses as appropriate to satisfy their honors hours requirements. It is important to note that students do not have to take particular HFA or HSBS courses at any time or in any order. The curriculum guide on the Admitted Students webpage gives suggestions for when these courses might be taken throughout your time at UAH. The only time requirement is that you must complete the HFA and HSBS courses by the semester you plan to graduate. Here are some final thoughts. We cannot advise you on your HFA and HSBS requirements unless we have your most current scores and credit. Please send your test scores and transcripts to UAH. You can also send screenshots of your scores and transcripts to the advisors and they can adjust your course recommendations. However, you must get those scores to UAH for official updates of your transcripts. If you still have questions or concerns about HFA and HSBS requirements, email the engineering advisors at engineering@uah.edu. So that's all for Charger Foundations. This can be a complicated part of your curriculum, and we'll revisit it in FYE and our mentoring and advising courses, EGR 299 and 399. And you can always email engineering@uah.edu if you're unsure of one of these requirements. Thanks for watching.